Keeping careful tabs on your day-to-day expenditures is one of the most fundamental aspects of responsible financial management. It is essential to keep precise records of your daily expenses in order to ensure that you have a clear image of your current financial status. This is true whether you are creating a budget in order to save for a specific goal, keeping track of your spending habits, or simply ensuring that you have a clear view of your finances. In this video, we will discuss a variety of techniques and approaches that may be used to keep track of the money you spend on a daily basis. Why keep records of daily expenses? Let's first have a grasp on the why before we get into the specifics of how to do it. Keeping track of your day-to-day expenditures can provide you with a number of benefits, including the following. The process of creating and adhering to a budget can be aided by budgeting. When you are aware of where your money is going, you're better able to divide it up among the various categories of costs. Awareness of one's financial situation. Keeping track of one's day-to-day expenditures helps one become more conscious of one's spending patterns. It enables you to identify areas in which you may be spending more than necessary and to make the appropriate adjustments. Setting goals is a vital part of working towards achieving your financial goals, whether those goals include building an emergency fund, paying off debt, or accumulating money for a vacation. Preparedness for difficulties. Keeping proper records of one's expenditures can be a lifesaver in the event that unforeseen financial difficulties arise. You won't have any questions about where your money is going and will be able to make decisions based on accurate information. Preparation of taxes. If you need to itemize deductions for tax purposes, keeping records of expenses is vital for claiming acceptable deductions. Keeping records of expenses is also essential for claiming charitable contributions. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about how to successfully keep records of your everyday expenses. Various techniques for keeping track of one's daily expenses. You can keep track of your day-to-day expenditures with the assistance of a number of different methods and tools. The most important thing is to pick a method that works well with your tastes and the way you already live your life. 1. Traditional pen and paper. Those who are more comfortable with a hands-on approach may find that keeping their daily spending documented in a straightforward notebook or a specialized expense tracking diary is an efficient way to do so. Make sections for things like food and drink, getting around, and various forms of entertainment, among others. Keep a record of the amount spent, the date, and the category for each and every purchase you make. To better understand your spending tendencies, periodically add up all of the sums. 2. Envelopes or cash system. Consider adopting the envelope budgeting approach, especially if you pay for the majority of your day-to-day costs with cash. You should label envelopes with the names of the different types of expenses, and then put a predetermined amount of cash in each envelope. Your spending limit for that category has been met when the envelope is completely depleted of its contents. 3. Expense tracking apps. The process of documenting expenses can be made easier by using one of the several expense monitoring applications that are available for cell phones. Mint, YNEB, You Need a Budget, and Pocket Guard are examples of popular budgeting apps. These applications link to your bank and credit card accounts, routinely classify expenses into appropriate categories, and deliver comprehensive reports on money spent. 4. Spreadsheets. You can make a specialized spreadsheet for keeping track of your expenditures by employing spreadsheet software such as Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. Create columns for the date, the category, the description of the spending, and the amount. Maintain a regular input schedule for your expenditures, and make use of the functions already incorporated into the software. 5. Dedicated software. It can be beneficial for individuals as well as corporations to make use of specialized software for spending tracking such as QuickBooks or Quicken. These tools offer comprehensive tracking and reporting of one's financial condition, making them suited for use by those whose financial circumstances are very complicated. 6. Bank and credit card statements. The statements that you receive from your bank and credit card companies might act as an automatic record of your expenditures. Always make it a habit to go back and look at your statements to organize and keep tabs on your expenditure. The majority of financial institutions also provide services that automatically classify your transactions. The following are some guidelines for maintaining accurate records of day-to-day expenditures. Regardless of the approach that you decide to take, the following are some best practices that can assure accurate tracking of your expenses. Keep track of every expense. Even the smallest expenses should be recorded because they have the potential to pile up over time. Even a cup of coffee or a snack in the morning needs to be accounted for. Create distinct categories for your expenses, such as housing, utilities, transportation, groceries, entertainment, and so on. This will make it easier to track and manage your spending. This makes it much simpler to pinpoint areas in which you may make reductions. Maintain consistency. Make it a regular habit to record all of your day-to-day spending. When it comes to keeping correct records, consistency is really essential. Keep your receipts. As proof of the money you've spent, it's important to keep your receipts for as long as feasible. During the time when taxes need to be filed, they can be useful for checking and itemizing deductions. Examine on a regular basis. It is important to examine your cost records on a regular basis in order to discover trends, make adjustments to your budget, and establish financial goals. Utilize mobile applications. If you choose for a digital strategy, you should think about utilizing mobile applications that enable you to enter expenses while you are away from your computer. This can assist you avoid forgetting to register expenses or delaying the process of documenting them. Challenges and tips. Keeping track of your day-to-day costs can be difficult, but if you use the appropriate approach, you can overcome the following frequent obstacles. Memory loss can cause you to forget recent or minor purchases, including those made just a few days ago. Make it a routine to write down your spending as soon as possible after making a purchase so that you can avoid this problem. Expenses paid in cash. Although it can be more difficult to keep track of expenses paid in cash, one solution is to use an envelope system or to save all receipts. Start out simple. If you discover that keeping track of your expenses is too overwhelming for you, start by recording your spending in a single category such as groceries, and then work your way through the rest of your costs. Data entry. The manual entry of data is required for certain systems, such as tracking via spreadsheets. Although doing so may be time-consuming, the resulting detailed view of your expenditures is well worth the effort. Automated. To expedite the process, make use of the automated functions offered by the apps and software you use to track your expenses. Establish rules that will automatically place recurrent expenditures into the appropriate category. Maintaining accurate records of your day-to-day expenditures is a crucial component of responsible financial management. It gives you the ability to make educated decisions about your finances, monitor your progress towards your financial goals, and gain control over how much money you spend. The most important thing is to get into a pattern and stick to it, regardless of whether you want to work with digital tools and applications or with more traditional materials like pen and paper. You can achieve more financial stability and mental composure in your life if you keep careful records of the money you spend on a regular basis.